My ego waffles. I ain't trying to be aggressive, but people look at me like I'm an old man. I came back from resurrecting. They look at me like I came back from the dead, like it's Resident Evil. But they don't even understand that I'm actually more human than you ever can. This is why I'm what you call the ex-human. I'm just different. I'm artistically different. What's up, Vincent Valentine EX Turk? And we're here with a new video. Dissida, another Dissida video. This will be around the villain, one of the villains that is possibly going to be chose. Now, when I upload this video, it's going to be during at work tomorrow, since tomorrow's Thursday. So it's going to be uploaded when I'm at work again. So just to let you know, that's what's going to happen. So, anyways, to get started, I think it's possible for General Qotar to be the villain. Don't get me wrong, I'd like Sid or Rulestein, since Sid or Rulestein is the original villain. Well, actually, Class Zero is the villain, but you do have to have someone that Type Zero, that Ace is going to be able to fight, considering Ace is most likely going to be on Materia's side of the coin. So I think probably General Qotar would be perfect. And plus, you didn't get to fight Sid or Rulestein until he transforms at the end of the game. You never actually... Even Sid or Rulestein confirmed in Type 0 that they never actually met face-to-face with Class 0 until you see him in his final transformation. So, you know, this begs the question. I think General Qotar is the villain you mostly fight throughout Type 0, considering you fight him twice. And he commands the armies, just like Ravis. He commands the army of the Militestan Empire. So, you know... Now, I doubt he's gonna have his mechs, because it'd be too big. Maybe that'd be his limit. I think maybe for his, his EX core mode, that he's probably gonna be able to get his giant mech to fly around. But since he uses a sword and stuff like that, I think it'd be perfect, considering the fact that you probably could get away with giving him, you know, Sephiroth's sword skill. I think, if anything, he would have Sephiroth's sword skill. So, he would pretty much put Sephiroth's sword skill into play in the Dissida NT. Because that's exactly how it'd fight like, and his EX core would be his mech. Now, I think he would have mixed movesets too, considering he also uses a gun too. So he'd have a mix of, I think he would have a mix of marksman. He would have, you know, the mix of a marksman mixed with the with assassin, or whatever class Sephiroth ends up being, considering the fact that, you know, that's exactly how he would fight. So I don't see why they couldn't put him as a villain. Now, they may, you know, they may not put him as a villain, so, you know, but if they did, that would be completely badass right here to see, you know, to see General Qotar. I mean, because I know Sid Rulestein's not going to make it in there, unfortunately, because, you know, plus he wasn't all that good of a villain, considering the fact you face him last in the game. You know, when it was in the import and PSP, it did well in Japan, but when it came to America as the HD version, it didn't do as well. The only reason why people bought it is for Final Fantasy 15's, you know, download demo of episode Dissida. People actually never bought it for this game, considering the fact that I could see why, because there's 15 endings, different conclusions, and people at this point got sick of the Fabula Crystallis Novia, even though I haven't. I have never given up on the Fabula Crystallis Novia. And not to mention, if they put, you know, if they put Caius as Lightning's villain, or anybody who's you know, Bartanolonis as Lightning's villain, and they had General Qotar and they had Arden as in there, you'd have pretty much the team Fabula Crystallis Novia villains. You'd have the Fabula Crystallis top villains. You would have, you know, the Fabula Crystallis Novia's top villains if you were able to do that. But I think, to be quite honest, General Qotar seems like it could happen. I doubt it is because they don't give spin-off games. I mean, I don't even think they give a villain for Ramza of Tactics to fight. You know, and I guess they can't because the final villain in Tactics was the Demon King that was too big for the screen. You know, they had to find some smaller villain to actually put in the Type 0 villain slot. But I think, I don't know, it's a lot possible for a Type 0 villain and a Final Fantasy 15 villain, if anything else. It'd be kind of hard for a Final Fantasy 13 villain, but, you know, again, they have many choices of the Final Fantasy 13 villains, such as Cid Reigns, Bartandalonis, and Caius. Even though Caius was exclusively only, Caius was only an exclusive for a spin-off game. It's not too impossible to say they can't put that in there. I think I still have hope, even without a Vincent Valentine character. I still have the possibility, theory that they might put Hojo in Final Fantasy VII's second villain slot, if anything else, or as a premier skin. Considering, you know, I still have hope for that and stuff like that. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I still have hope. I mean, there could be only hope. Now, they did say, confirmed that there's going to be 5 extra characters that was not on the normal roster. Whether it's the rest of the Duodecim thing, or maybe just new characters nobody ever got to play with. And I think before the game comes out, I don't see why General Qotar cannot make it in the game. Besides the fact, you know, Final Fantasy Type 0 has, you know, pretty much a big roster, well, a pretty sized roster of villains, because you got that Ice Princess in the beginning, and the Azure Dragon, you got the Cid Rulstein, you got General Qotar, you got the Tiger Lassie. But General Qotar, they actually, you know, General Qotar, they actually, you know, you fight him twice, and he leads the army. You know, he's doing some of Cid's, he's doing some of Cid's work for him, so I don't see how it's not possible to put Cid Rulstein. Qotar, since General Qotar is actually doing Cid Rulstein's work for him, and you fight him twice, and he had a lot of character development when he captured that one little kid, you know. You know, then you know, and he'd have a good backstory. Not to mention, if in the story mode, just like Jack, maybe General Qotar, because General Qotar, you know, kind of showed a tiny bit of remorse for his actions, even though it was in his death. It could be possible that Kuja, Jack, and General Qotar could turn their back on Spiritus and join the heroes. If Spiritus gets outraged and gets really mad, you know. I'm just saying, you know, because he is a developed character as well. I actually much like the character. He's kind of like a better version of Rufus Shinra, if you really think about it. So that's my thoughts about the boy, the High Commander of the Militessan Empire, General Qotar Bashter. And may the crystal be with you.